I'm Rod Cohen, and this is my video blog entry. Okay, so Kublai Khan, I think that's how you say his name, was one of the first non-Chinese emperors. He was the grandson of Genghis Khan, but he was very different from his Mongolian ancestors in ways that he focused more on trade, taxes, and expansion, um, where Mongols were more known for their nomadic ways and their fighting spirit. Um, he helped out the merchants quite a bit when in previous dynasties the merchants were towards the bottom of the social hierarchy. And in strengthening the power of the merchants, he strengthened trade within his nation. In doing so, that brought nations from all over his region of the globe to trade with them and only strengthen their economy. And in strengthening their economy, it allowed him to expand more. Um, he was, I feel it was very similar to the United States because at one point we were an isolation, oh my God, isolated nation. And we eventually began dealing with capitalism. And that's how we ended up getting a hand in nations all over and then going to those nations that did not want to trade with us and persuading them to trade with us. And that is what he did as well. He would allow them to surrender or and he would have a peaceful takeover. But if they did not surrender, then they would brutally murder them. Um, and eventually, this happened so often that just word of mouth spread, and more nations began surrendering when they found out, that men's heads were being severed and they were being brutally murdered. Um, I find that to be very similar to what goes on in the United States. He also brought in paper currency and started using banknotes and a tax system um, and expressed freedom of trade. And one of the biggest things the United States was founded on was the free enterprise system. Um, so, in a lot of ways, you can parallel the United States to um, Kublai Khan's reign of the Mongolian Empire. One thing I also noticed was the greed for more, which eventually led to him having two consecutive losses in Japan. Eventually, he did, bow out and not take that third loss. But the United States has also had issues with not knowing when to stop trying to expand. Um, I believe, as far as I saw from the video, that and allowing religious freedoms within his nation were really the only other parallels that I could find. And when I say religious freedom, it wasn't exactly religious freedom, but he did not impose his views onto those that he conquered. He allowed them to continue practicing their religions, but also showed them, his beliefs, and it was up to them what they were going to continue doing. And I believe the fact that he wasn't such a what is the word I'm looking for? He wasn't such a I don't know a terrible ruler, an evil ruler, is why he was able to accomplish so much. But yeah, that's what I believe, and hope I get 100.